record, and we're ready to go. Okay. What is the responsibility of leadership in a crisis? Well, I would tell you it's to recast the vision. Okay. We came into 2020 with a goal. Every single one of us had goals. And you had a vision of what you were going to accomplish in 2020. And for the most part, I would tell you, you could probably tear that plan up, throw it in the trash, and rewrite a new plan. Even if you're part of the 10% and you are looking at having your best year ever, you're not going to do it the same way that you thought to. Let me say that again. You're not going to accomplish your goals the same way you thought you were. What worked in the past does not work today. So the plan has to change. The vision may not, but the plan in order to get there definitely has to change. Okay, it's kind of like driving down the road and hitting a detour and saying, okay, I still have to get to my destination. What's my new plan? All right. Here's a question that Gary asked, Cindy, and this is interesting. He said, how can an individual agent have a record-breaking year in a crisis while at the same time real estate offices are down by as much as 50%?
They ignore the noise.
Yeah, I like that, Heather. Good. Yeah.
They also talked about how in a crisis, emotions are high and things are more memorable, good and bad. So those of us that are, meeting people, like you said, with care calls and making a difference in our communities, people are going for safe options and trustworthy brands. So I think if someone's built their business on being that kind of advocate versus, commission breath, people are really I'm experiencing people gravitate towards, they want a trusted advisor.
Yeah, I like that. Good job, Cindy.
It sounds like these people are focusing on the things that they do.
Yeah. Yeah, good job, Dylan. Good to see you too, my friend. So 38 million people have filed for unemployment. And by the way, guys, I'm literally reading you into my notes, okay? So if this doesn't follow a roadmap that you think it should, it's just the way that I wrote my notes. Okay, 38 million people have filed for unemployment. 100,000 people have died from COVID-19, and things are going to get worse. How do you feel about that?
Scared.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Thank you. So am I.
And excited.
Agree. I agree.
Of opportunity.
Yeah. So adversity is preparation for greatness. Yes. Been here before. Next. Adversity prepares us for adversity. When you go through a life without any adversity and you get hit with something like this, you're a mess. I mean, you literally just lay down on the floor and you're a puddle. Adversity prepares you for adversity. And to say things are going to get worse isn't negative. It's just being real. And we haven't found a cure for this yet. We may not. We haven't had the only quarantine that we're going to have. It's going to happen again. Now, what I would tell you is that doesn't mean doom and gloom. It means, like Elsa said, opportunity for the right person. You've got to be prepared to succeed in the worst of times. We are in a industry. Boy, that was a tongue twister. We are in a industry where people are always buying, always selling. Now, there may be fewer, but that doesn't mean you can't hit your goals. One of the things you've got to have, though, is you've got to have the technology in order to be able to succeed in that market. I would ask myself right now, if real estate became 75% digital, supported by 25% physical, do I have the necessary technology and tools to succeed in that market? It's just a question. All right. What have you done to reinvent yourself? And this goes right to what I was just saying. What have you done to reinvent yourself to be whoever you need to be and do what you have to do? Why would we need to reinvent ourselves?
Well, I think you can get stuck in what was before, which isn't a reflection of what is today, right? So I kind of go back to like KWYP. I had this moment of like, why the heck would anyone even want to be part of our chapter? And I struggled with this for a moment, and I realized that like you're saying, like recasting the vision, changing my mindset, and then focusing on the things that we actually have not done yet to help us grow. Like there was a lot of things that we had to change to make it a better chapter for KWYP. And we recasted the vision. We sent out what we're moving forward, and we led everyone to a new direction.
Love that. Great job, Heather. Thank you.
John,
Great
you
job.
would want to reinvent yourself because the market's changing.
Yeah.
Things are always changing. Excuse me while I ducked out of the picture for a moment and I dropped my notes on the floor. Things are always changing, correct?
Yep. John,
Yes, ma'am.
they shared an idea of how much we all have status quo
And you have
bias.
to adapt.
Hold on one second. I don't think it's my connection, guys. Cindy, go ahead. And then Heather, jump in right after Cindy.
Sorry. They were talking about status quo bias and saying, you know, how to be IBM and not Blockbuster. And what was a really interesting statistic was that Kodak, which used to make the film for the cameras, actually had more patents for mobile technology and digital, and they didn't want to get off of it. They wanted to do things, they didn't want to cannibalize, you know, the cash cow, and where are they today? So it was a great example of just looking at all of us as to what is our status quo bias, right?
There you go.
And then that leads into reinvention. And one last thing they said, there's two kinds of things. There's prevention focus, like minimizing the risk, and promotion, which is maximizing the benefits. And they said the best people are going to blend the both. It's prevention and promotion, helping people do that.
Yeah. Digitally based, physically enhanced is exactly what I would say. And what's interesting, Cindy, is, and you and I have known each other for a long time. We're friends, and Keller Williams in 2000, well, let's just say Gary Keller in 2015 looked up as the #1 real estate company in the world with agent count and had a pretty good thing going. And he could have just rested on that. Instead, he chose to basically break his company and reinvent it and go on a 5-year mission to create this technology platform and to make an announcement to the world that we are no longer a real estate company. We are now a technology company. And he basically got laughed at. And he could have easily been Kodak. He could have easily been Blockbuster. And he chose not to be. He chose to reinvent himself and reinvent his company. And it's 5 years later, and it's still in development, right? We're still not where we're going to be as an industry when it comes to technology. However, everything is pointing to a digitally based industry with it that is physically enhanced. I could add BlackBerry to your list because they could have created a smartphone. Instead, they chose not to and went from 80% market share to 2% market share in a year. And there's other examples as well, guys. And just keep watching because it hasn't stopped yet. I told you a couple days ago that I was shopping in a mall on the west coast of Florida, and there was nobody there. Nobody. And I looked at my wife and I asked, do you think they're going to make it? Because they've got to be losing tens of thousands of dollars a day. And there's a lot of people who have just realized in the last 12 weeks, hey, it's pretty easy to shop on Amazon. I think I'll just keep doing this.
John,
Yes, ma'am.
one more distinction they made that reminds me of what you talked about yesterday They said there's buyers and shoppers,
Mm.
but they had a different twist. They said the buyer knows what they want. Like they're going to call you. I want this 4-2 house. I want you to help me. Maybe it's our repeat clients. They said the shopper are the people that we're getting to that are just still figuring it out. Maybe they're, curious and they kind of, it's almost the breadcrumb. And it reminds me of when you talked about seminars, right? Those are shoppers in my mind. They're like curious, they're learning. And if we can meet people while they're still in that discovery, then we can move them to be buyers. I mean, they were using online retail, but in our world, how many people are curious, and do we give them a vehicle to browse and shop and learn more to move closer to us? So again, everything they talked about was right in line with everything you're bringing every day. So thank you.
Great job, Cindy. And to Kellerize what Cindy just said, she's referring to lead generation, lead follow-up in order to create emotional proximity. And what I would tell all of you is that the industry is going to shift to where buyers and shoppers will not physically look at more than 3 or 4 homes before they make an offer, because we are going to a digital world that will allow buyers to look at properties digitally on-demand virtual tours using artificial intelligence that it's going to connect buyers and sellers together off the market, or the moment the property hits the market, it's going to identify there's 6 buyers that are looking for your home. And if you're a real estate agent like me, which is everybody on this call, you are going to be a part of that. And that's one of the things that's going to change in our industry. And that's one of the areas where technology makes our job more productive and more efficient. However, it doesn't replace you. Don't hear that. I'm not saying that. Nobody's ever going to swipe left to buy a house. They're always going to need that representation. It's just going to be easier, and it's going to be a better experience for your consumers. All right, control the space you occupy. So if you did this and you said, okay, 6 feet in every direction, that's the space that I occupy. That's the space I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to worry about anything outside that space. I'm just going to focus on that space. Now, I would tell you, if you're driving through the desert in the middle of the night, stay in your headlights. It's the same thing. Don't get outside your headlights. Okay, 2 podcasts that you want to listen to are Professor G and Pivot. It has nothing to do with real estate. It's just a coincidence that it's called Pivot. Scott Galloway, he's an economist. You absolutely want to follow him. Pay attention to what he's saying. All right.
John,
Yes, sir.
I think we also have to convey that we are confident of what we're doing and where we're going. I think a lot of people, when you talk to them, I think even though things are slowly returning to some semblance of normalcy, I think a lot of people are still uncertain, and I think they're looking for some guidance.
Oh,
And I think that
100%.
I think they're looking for somebody to come back out and say, "Hey, look, I've got this under control. I know what we're doing, and I can help you to get your areas under control." I mean, I realized that in talking to people when you're out making the calls and you're saying, "Well, is there anything I can help you with?" And not
Yeah.
necessarily real estate. And people are like, "Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
what?" Well, are you looking for something?
Yeah.
And I think they're looking for not just the words. I think they're looking for the tone of voice.
Yeah.
I think they're looking for that you're conveying confidence that you can be there for them. I think that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people are missing.
Yeah. Good job, Kevin. That was awesome. And I agree 100%. People want to know you care. They want to know that they can trust you, and they want to know that you know what you're doing. Be the local economist of choice.
Right.
And lead with your heart. Guys, if you want to be successful, that's it right there. Be the local economist of choice and lead with your heart. And you will build an incredible business. And by the way, you'll be a lot happier, because when you don't lead with your heart, it's not fun. When it's about you, and it's about getting a paycheck, it's not fun. It's stressful. Okay. Here's some notes from an interview with Lance Logan. Now, this is really interesting, guys. First of all, he ended 2019 with $9 million GCI. $9 million gross commission income. Wow. But they missed their goal because they had become dependent on marketing. In other words, they had built a marketing-based business that succeeded in good times. And in Gary Keller's book, Shift, he says, in a great market, we succeed in spite of what we're not doing right, or we succeed in spite of what we're doing wrong. In other words, you want to build a prospecting-based business, marketing enhanced. However, the temptation in a great market is to become marketing-based because, let's be honest, that's easier. You're answering the phone with incoming leads. The problem with that is you're not going to notice that the market is changing until several months after the market has changed. If you are prospecting-based, you're going to know immediately. Let me tell you how. You're going to know because there's more expired listings. You're going to know because homes are sitting on the market longer. And you're going to know because there were fewer for sale by owners. You're going to see, because you're prospecting based, that the marketing is shifting. So I'm going to go on and share with you what he shared. He pivoted his strategy to 35 contacts a day. Now, this is for his ISAs. He has 3 ISAs, and each of them were responsible for 35 contacts a day and 8 appointments kept per week. So they get paid for scheduling appointments, but they get paid more for an appointment kept. And not only did this become a standard, it became a standard in order to keep their job. These are salaried employees, and if they didn't hit 35 contacts a day and 8 appointments kept per week, they lost their job. Now, he went on to share that there were a lot of there was a lot of negativity around that when he did that. In other words, that's not realistic. We can't do that. And 5 months into 2020, they're hitting those numbers and they're having their best year ever in the middle of a national health crisis. Here's something else that's interesting, guys. He did $9 million in GCI last year, and he still lost $600,000 in the fourth quarter. He took a $600,000 loss. Now, for those of you who are running big teams like Corey and Heather, they're shaking their head. They're going, absolutely, I totally get that. Especially if he's marketing-based, guys. If he was bringing in $9 million in gross commission income, how much money was he spending on marketing? Just say a lot. A lot.
Probably $1 million.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe more. I mean, MREA model is 12% of GCI. So 12% of $9 million, you're there. Absolutely. Okay. Standard for ISAs on Logan team became 20 kept appointments per week. So they shifted again. Every lead goes to an ISA first. That's interesting. So if you're using ISAs, here's what I want you to hear. Don't cherry pick your leads. Don't just give your ISAs the leads that are coming in from pay-per-click, Zillow, Realtor.com, Boomtown. Give every single lead. Even if somebody from your database calls you and says, I want to list my home, your script is, that's awesome. I'll have Paige give you a call. Now, Paige is my ISA. And here's why. Your ISAs are going to be more loyal and more dedicated to you if every lead goes through them. If you cherry pick the leads and only give the ISAs the pay-per-click leads, you're not going to get the same results. All appointments are scheduled through an ISA. Create a system and handle every lead through your ISA department. In the beginning, here's how they paid their ISAs: $100 for a kept appointment and $100 at closing. So for those of you who don't have an ISA yet and you're looking for a model, there it is. It's $100 for an appointment kept and $100 at closing. So Alex, if I'm your ISA and I schedule an appointment for you and the seller keeps the appointment, that's $100. When you take the listing and it goes to closing, I get another $100. Now, if I want to make $500 a day, guys, all I have to do is schedule 5 appointments a day for Alex that are kept, and I'm making $500 a day. Not a bad gig. All right. Now, they pay their ISAs a $26,000 base. This is what they do now. They pay them a $26,000 base and 10% at closing. Again, not a bad gig. If I can get 3 deals a month to close with an average commission of $10,000, that's $3,000 a month in commission plus a $26,000 base. Again, not a bad gig. If you're looking to hire an ISA, there's your model. All right, talk to me, because I know some of you have questions around that. You have to. You should.
The thought that came up to me is you better be good at conversion, because if they're getting you in front of people, it's going to be expensive if you're not converting. So
There you
it
go.
goes back to your skill base, right? It comes back on us.
There you go, Cindy. I like that. Yeah. And Cindy, one of the things he shared, and I don't know if I wrote it down or not, don't hire an ISA until you, as the realtor, until you have an ISA, you are the ISA, until you are maxed out on the number of appointments that you can schedule and go on. Then it's time to hire an ISA.
I'm a little
All right.
confused by that remark, John. So if you are maxed out because of the appointments that you are keeping and you hire an ISA, isn't that going to just overwhelm you at that particular point if he's able to go ahead and bring in more appointments?
Well, what would be the next hire? Or what would be the next hire before you hire an ISA, Alex?
Your admin, right?
Okay, then.
A listing, a buyer's agent.
Okay, so because of time, I'm just going to go through this really quickly. You're right. And as I'm building a team, I'm going to hire my first admin. My first hire is an admin. My second hire is admin. My third hire is a showing assistant who's going to show properties. So now I'm no longer going out on appointments, actually showing properties to buyers. I am only going on listing appointments and working with the buyer once my showing assistant has identified the property they want to purchase. Then I take over and write the offer and negotiate the contract. My next hire is going to be a buyer agent. My next hire after that is going to be an ISA. Got it? Okay.
Got it.
Okay, cool. All right, here's a couple great things to close the call out on today. Create a custom friends list in Facebook for your past clients. Guys, seriously, I haven't done that, right? As a team leader, I'm going to do that for all of the real estate agents who are in my pipeline who are potentially interested in joining Keller Williams. I want to be able to go to Facebook and do a search for a custom friends list in Facebook for all of the real estate agents who are in my pipeline. So for you, take every single one of your past clients and create a custom friend list on your Facebook page just for that group, so that you could follow them more easily and be more connected.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I try to, yes, I start already to create groups with everybody, which are realtors, which are from Belgium, who speak French, who do not speak French, who are Jewish, who are not Jewish, whatever. You know, I'm trying to categorize everybody.
Yeah.
So when I'm posting on Facebook, I can be more specific. And I can also, not show everything to everyone that doesn't interest.
Yeah. So, stop that. I've got the link. I'll find it and I'll share it with you. Rather than playing around here and fooling around and not being able to find it. I'll find it for you and I'll send it out in an email. So I'm going to send you a link to a video on how to create a custom friend list on Facebook. Would that be valuable? Say
Absolutely.
yes. Say yes.
Yeah, I actually like it.
Okay, good. All right, 2 minutes to go. Give me some ahas. What'd you hear? What'd you learn? What are you gonna do different?
Hey, John, this is Dave.
Dave,
Do
good to see you.
admins have to have a real estate license?
So it depends on who you ask. And my answer would be no, as long as they're not doing anything that requires a license. Okay. Now,
Got it.
like I said, it depends on who you ask. I know that Nikki Baldini, who is the OP for the Market Center in Clearwater, would tell you, yes, they do. And I would say, no,
yeah.
they don't. It just depends on what they're doing.
I mean, optimally, if they have a license, it's great, right? But,
Monica closes 10 deals a month as a transaction coordinator, and she does not have a license.
nice.
Okay. And she probably knows more than most real estate agents if you talk to her, that the girl should be a broker. Holy cow.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
My big aha was be the economist, the local real estate economist of choice, and lead with your heart. I really love that. Thank you, John.
Yes, Dylan. Yes.
Yeah, me too. I heard that. Make it more of helping than selling.
Yes. Love that.
Be prepared to reinvent yourself to match the market.
Yep. Always. You're going to get left behind if you don't. You're going to be Blockbuster if you don't. You're going to be BlackBerry if you don't. You're going to be Kodak if you don't. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock and you have an appointment. That appointment is to get on the phone and smile and dial. Your job description for the day is 20 contacts. 20 contacts, add one person to your database and schedule at least one appointment. Let's just pretend for a moment that you and I are in a boat. The boat sank, we're 3 miles offshore, and our one thing is swim to shore. If we don't swim to shore, we're going to die. And your one thing today is 20 contacts, one person added to your database, and schedule one appointment. Now, the good news is if you don't do it, you're not going to die. However, work as if you would. I bet you'll get more accomplished. Make it a great day.
Thanks, John.
Got it.
Thanks.
Got
Thank
it.
you, John.